I'm so glad you're able to join us on this Tuesday. I trust that your new year is getting started right. And that we talk a lot about New Year's resolutions. We need to follow biblical principle and be determined to look to God to enable us to do what He wants us to do. And did you know? We can follow through because it's by His grace that we have victory in any area. And one of the things that causes us to stumble is when we get discouraged and we feel weak. And we need to remember that as believers, we are weak. And honestly, we're never going to feel strong. If we feel strong, we're really looking to ourselves, and that's going to cause ultimate failure. But when we're weak and understand that, and we need God, then we can look to Him for His power, and in our weakness, we have that strength. Well, we have a strong admonition from the Lord through the prophet Isaiah as the prophecies about what God was going to do in the future and how the wilderness was going to flourish and God was going to meet the needs of the people of Israel. We read in verse 13, "Strengthen ye the weak hands and confirm the feeble knees. Say to them that are of a fearful heart, Be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come with vengeance, even God will have recompense. He will come and save you." And then it talks about all the things that God is going to do. When we have that kind of a just weak need, feeling sorry for ourselves, feeling just limp, so to speak, emotionally, and having that negative perspective, we're not going to remember what God has promised. You have that same admonition over in Hebrews chapter 12, that we are to not allow ourselves to have the weak hands and feeble knees. We instead are to rise up and realize what we have in the Lord. And that's what this is all about here. Keeping in mind the promises of God, the covenant of God, we don't need to be discouraged and down and feeling very much like there's no hope. You see people that are walking around that have no hope. This is very illustrative of what they look like. And so a couple things I wanted to mention. Number one, we need to stay encouraged in what God has promised. And we need to realize if we don't allow God to encourage us, we're going to miss what He's promised. In other words, when we're not walking by faith and we are looking at ourselves and we are letting circumstances overcome us, we're going to miss the things that faith will produce as the grace of God will do that which we cannot do. So it's a terrible, vicious cycle to be involved in. And so we need to strengthen ourselves by the power of God, understand what God has promised us, and realize that no matter what the problems are, God will meet those problems. He'll use them. In fact, He is going to use that trial for great good. And so let's look forward to everything that God has planned for us, and let's don't let ourselves to get in that discouraged state, but instead have genuine spiritual encouragement.